As I told you earlier yesterday that our Docker Compose is going to work like a main switch. So when you'll be having a lot of say Docker files or things like that, if we want to kind of connect them together and run them together using one Docker file and something like that, then we can go for using Docker Compose. So let us try to practically see that thing. Now, okay, I need to add my user over here. Hang on a second. So let me just add my user so that I can use the Docker commands everywhere. Nice. So let us go ahead and let us try to actually install Docker Compose. Now, Docker Compose does not come as a package with this one, so we have to install it separately, right? So you can find out install Docker Compose, right? I'll do the. So here it goes. Install Docker Compose Linux. Right. So this is the installation. Use this installation for installing Docker Compose. Okay. All right, so understand what is happening over here. This is the command. Okay. So it is getting it from github.com/docker/compose/release wherever, and ultimately putting it into user local bin Docker Compose, right? So that is where it is putting it. You can see -o user local bin Docker Compose. So let us get this thing. Okay, now that you have got it, we have to basically this Docker Compose. Now, if I show you something, sudo, let's say lsl user local bin Docker Compose, or let's see if we just do user local bin. Look at this. Oh, sorry. Slash. See this. This Docker Compose that we have that is owned by root, right? But we can very either we can hand it over to, let's say, ourselves, or else we can do another thing. We can add the execute permission, right? Everywhere, because we don't have the execute permission. We cannot execute Docker Compose. We can just add that execute. That will be much more easier. So I'm just adding the execute permission plus X, okay, to user local bin Docker Compose. Once I've done so, if I run this command, you'll find out that the execute command, has been added. Permission has been added, right? So now I can very easily play with Docker Compose. So this was the step that I required to do in order to make sure that I can play with it. All right. So now that we have got the Docker Compose, let us quickly try to do what we told that we can do in Docker Compose, right? So let me create two Docker files first of all. Okay, I'll create two Docker files. Let's say one Docker file I want for okay, yesterday we did that thing, right? We got Ubuntu. On top of that, we had put the Apache 2 server, right? So let us have one Docker file that is doing that thing. Another Docker file which is, let's say, running an Apache Tomcat. Fine. We shall map them on port number 80 and 8080 respectively, right? And we shall run them. So let us try to do that together today using Docker file and Docker Compose. So I'm going to create one Docker file. I'm going to call that thing Dockerfile dot Apache 2, right? You can call it anything. I follow this particular naming convention, Dockerfile dot whatever Dockerfile that is. I'm calling it Apache 2. So if you remember yesterday what we did, we started from, oh my god, from Ubuntu, right? Then is basically your run apt-get update, run apt-get install Apache 2 with a -y. Okay. Expose port number 80. Then ultimately, what else? Command apache ctl d foreground. Acha, listen to one thing. These things that you're writing now, this we can write in this way also. There are two ways of writing. Another way is you can put a square bracket, okay, and you can wrap around these stuffs with double quotes, okay, and put a comma in between. This is called the array format. In this way also you can write it. Array. They will mean the same thing. Okay. This way writing or that way writing both mean the same thing. Okay. This will also work out. I'll create another Docker file. I'll call it .tomcat. Okay. So here we shall not do much of things. Let's say download Tomcat from Tomcat. Okay. We want to expose, let's say, port number 8080, and we want to cmd. I need to see how to start Tomcat. Wait a second. I need to find out what is the Tomcat running command. Catalina.sh comma run, right? So it is, yeah, this is what it is. Catalina.sh run. So let us go and let us write it down. Catalina.sh run. This way also, that way also, both the formats work, right? The array format or the simple format. Right. So now we have got two Docker files. Let me check the no, like for example, since we have written this Docker file, you have to figure out whether this Docker file is written in a particular format or not, right? So for that thing, what we can do, we can actually run our what? We can try to run a build to see it, right? But anyway, let us directly do it through Docker Compose. Forget about this build from here. We'll create a new file with the name docker compose.yml. If everything is fine, we shall see. Otherwise, we'll figure it out later. Docker compose.yml. So I'm creating a YAML file over here. So I'm going to write down, say over here. The first thing you need to write is what is the version of this Docker compose file. That is the first thing that should come. So the version we are using is version 3. Okay. So now each of these Docker files that I have got, when I build them, I'll get containers, right? So now the containers are actually run as services. Okay. So you have to mention services over here because the containers will be run as services, right? You can call these services, you can give them any name as you wish. So let's say I am calling the first service as a Apache service. Apache, you just call this thing Apache SVC. Okay, I'm calling it Apache service. Now that after you called it Apache service, now you have to go for actually doing this particular thing. So we need to mention that which is the Docker file you're going to use and a lot of things, right? Basically, so all these things you have to do it. So which Docker file we are using, that also you have to mention. What else you have to mention? You have to mention that which particular, like we have to mention for both of them. Like for let's say Apache services I'm writing over here, right? So for this, which is the Docker file? What is the Docker file for the other one, right? And now also the port mapping we have to mention over here. See how the first thing that comes over here under our Apache service is going to be the build, because if you remember, we run docker build command on our Docker file. So we are asking it to build. The first thing it will ask is the what is the context. Context means the path. Where is your file that you want to build? Well, it is in the local directory. Dot. Fine. You can write home EC2 user also. /home/EC2 user. In fact, it will convert into that one. I'll show you. The second thing what we can write over here is that what is the Docker file name? The Docker file name is dockerfile.apache2. This is the Docker file name, right? And another thing that we need to write over here is which is the ports. We are mapping 80 to 80. Okay, that's it. That is what we have to write it down over here. These are one service. Just this much information. That's it. Which file to build, what is the name of the service you want to give, and which port you want to do a mapping of. So let us say we want to go for the other one is your Tomcat service. Okay, build. The context happens to be once again the same directory. The Docker file happens to be dockerfile dot tomcat. Okay, and then the ports 8080 mapped on 8080. Okay, you are able to understand, right? Because when you run the docker run command, we typically put -p and 80 on 80, right? Instead we're doing that thing. When you build the docker file, you have to say like docker build dot, because it is in the current context, right? So all this information this guy is taking in this particular way, right? So now this is a complete docker compose. I might mention the docker network over here, but that is unnecessary. Version 3, you do not need to actually mention network. If you want, you can, but we don't really need to. So you can just come out of this. Now see, if I try to, I need to figure out that the Docker file that I have written, the Docker compose file, if that is valid or not. So Docker compose config, if you do so, and if this output is coming, that means it is working. Okay. See, the context has been automatically converted to home EC2 user, right? From the dot. They have added the /TCP with the ports. They've added the point 0 with the version. I just wrote 3 if you remember. It added point 0, right? It has not changed anything in the YAML file, but it is telling that how our Docker engine is going to parse this particular file. This is how it is going to do it. And if it is coming over here, that means it is parsable. Otherwise, if there is some error, if you do Docker compose config, the output will not come. Okay. It will tell you if there is error. So we are more or less good to go. So the only thing, there are two commands in Docker compose. One is up and one is down. If I do Docker compose up, and I want to run in backend, so up D, Docker compose up D. Now see, I just press enter. Two services, remember, Apache service and Tomcat service. It created the network automatically, EC2 user default. It is building the Apache service, you can see over here. It is doing a lot of things. All the things that it did yesterday, remember? Update and then ultimately downloading the Apache 2, right? Now it is building the Tomcat service, you can see. So now for running Tomcat, we need to run what? Java. They will put the Java embedded over there. That is the container benefit. So you can see there has been two containers created. EC2 user Apache service 1, EC2 user Tomcat service 1. These are the two containers. Okay. Now see this. If we go for running Docker PS, you will find out these two guys are running. Okay, it is only one. I think I've written something wrong in the CMD of that one. Something has gone wrong. Yeah, this thing didn't work out. Apache CTLD foreground. I think I have written something wrong. It is not exactly Apache CTLD foreground, something like that. Let me open up and let me find out why that thing died so quickly, right? So what I shall do, I shall open up that Docker file.apache2. Let us find out what went wrong over here. Apache CTL. Okay, fine. There should not be a dash for foreground. There is nothing called dash foreground. Okay, that's it went wrong. Okay, so we need to build it once again. First, let us take it down. So Docker compose. Okay, down, so that it will be deleting. See, stopping is to use a Tomcat service one, right? And after that, you'll find out that it will be ultimately stopping the fine. So it removed the things also. So it is completely removed also. It is not that it is still there, you have to work with it. No, it is removed. Okay, it removed the network also that you created. Okay, now what I want to do, I want to go ahead and I want to, exactly, so I'll go like Docker compose up, or you can just go for build, or let's say like this, up dash d dash dash build. Otherwise what will happen if I simply run update, since the image is already there, it will just run from that. Dash dash build will rebuild the image. Okay, no, it did not actually. I think, did it rebuild the image? Yeah, it did. See, right? It removed the dash from the foreground. So this point of time, if I go for Docker PS, you'll find out both of them are running, right? On port number 80, Apache service is running. On port number 8080, Tomcat service is running. Let us quickly open up the port and let us check it out whether we can see that or not. This is 80 and this is 8080. Anyway, fine, whatever the page is coming, it does not come with the home page or something like that, but you can see this is coming from Apache Tomcat 8.5.50, right? So both 880 and 8080 is working, right? So if we deploy an application, will start working this particular thing. Are we clear so far?
Yeah,
Yes.
Vishal.
Okay.
Hello. Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, Vishal. So actually, what is the Docker Compose means? What it actually does? If
What
we
is, sorry, what?
Docker Compose.
Docker Compose, I told you, right? When you're trying to bind multiple images together.
Okay. We can run.
So if we see Docker images, we will find out there are how many. See, so many images are there. Uh, one, two images it is created. This none is coming from the last one that did not work out, right? I just removed it. So this we can remove this image. Docker RMI. This one. Fine. So now you can see these are the Docker images that we have with ourselves, the 4 images. So this Ubuntu and Tomcat was first pulled, and on that it actually worked and it created these 2 images, right? It modified them, created. Now in the Tomcat case, we really did not modify, but yes, since we have the Docker file over there, if we want to modify, we can modify something, right? We can definitely go ahead and we can definitely modify something if we want to. Okay. So let me show you by modifying something. Let me do one thing. Let me quickly go to the browser and download some sample. I think let me download a sample war file. Sample war file just to deploy on a Tomcat. Okay. Here there is a sample application from here itself. So that is called sample.war, which can be downloaded from here, right? So I can just quickly go ahead and download it here, I guess. Okay, I now which I need to actually send to my this machine, this machine. So let me do it. Hang on a second. You'll not see me doing it, but I'm kind of trying to upload it over here. So I'm sending it to home EC2 user. You can see I'm copying it over here, right? All right, so you can see the sample.war has got copied over there, over here, right? So what I want to do, I want to kind of deploy this sample.war on top of my Apache Tomcat, right? So that is what I want to do. Okay. Every time someone is coming and going. So if I want to actually, let's say, for example, put this particular thing on my Apache Tomcat, right? So what I need to do is that I need to basically uh, copy this one, right? So this particular one, I have to copy this image when the Tomcat, this thing we are pulling from the Docker Hub, right? Using our this guy, then I need to copy this particular image. I need to put this image where I need to put this image within that one, isn't it? Within the proper directory. So there is a directory known as uh, web app. Okay, there is in Tomcat there is a directory known as web app. We have to go ahead and put this particular thing in the web app directory. So you have to write a copy command for that. Once you're copying it inside web app, then only this particular thing will be served. This is the idea. Okay. So just give me a second. I'll write it down. Okay. See, basically what I need to do is that let us open up the, let us do a Docker Compose down. Okay. Let's kill it. Stopped everything. It is stopping. Let it stop. So now what we can do is that the Tomcat Docker file that we have. So we can just open up Docker file. Vi Docker file dot Tomcat. Right. In this one, we are exposing port number 8080. We are doing a catalan sh run and all those things. Along with that, what I can do before doing it, I can actually okay, before let's see here, we can actually copy this war file. So the war file is in the current directory, right? Dot slash sample.war. Oh my god, sample.war. It is in the current directory. So take this war file and actually copy this. Now we are writing in inside the Tomcat no Docker file, so it will be always taking the Tomcat file system only. I want to copy it in user local. Okay, and after that there will be Tomcat on that web app. So there is a file known as web app, folder known as web apps. So within that, I want this word file to be copied. Okay, this is what I'm trying to do, so that it gets deployed over there. So if I run this now, Docker Compose up the build. If I do so, I'm expecting this thing to work out. Let us see whether this particular thing is working out or not. So let us come back to our browser. Here we go. So if I refresh, okay, no, I don't think it is working out. This thing is working. Port number, sorry, 8080 is not working. Okay, so let us do one thing. Let us actually go ahead and do the build properly. Docker Compose down I can do.
No, I think we have to give the path, no? Sample.war.
What sample.war? This is
That path.
sample.war, right?
No, in the browser I meant.
Oh, in the browser. Okay, okay, fine, fine. Yeah, let's try that. Yeah, na slash sample like that. Yeah, it is coming up, right? So this is your sample hello world application. Fine. So when you write the application name, then only it will come actually. So here is your sample.war. Right? Clear? So we wrote the copy command so that it takes it from the local directory and it actually puts it inside the Where? In the web app folder, right? In the web apps folder. In the web apps folder is the folder within which if you copy something, that will be served when you write the word file name over here, right? So this is your port number 8080 on that sample. This happens to be your home page. Right?
You mean this called deployment or something?
This is called deployment.
Okay.
Okay. Deployment is nothing but copy and paste. Seriously, there is nothing more in deployment. Just that you have to be very much sure what you are copying and where you are copying. Just copy and paste. Copy paste and restart the server. Nowadays, the modern servers don't even require restart. Copy paste, it will work. But anyway, people to be sure, people restart them. But it is not mandatory to restart also. Right. Was it clear? Right. I mean, Sunil, it was not continuous deployment, by the way. It was just a manual deployment that I did. But when we do continuous deployment, we'll be using this same idea, but we'll be that time pushing it through Jenkins, right? So I'll do it right now today itself.
Okay.
Fine. Are you all clear so far?
Yeah.
Okay. So let us bring it down. Docker Compose down. Okay. Fine. And also I'll delete all the images and every single thing. I'll make sure that it is completely clean. Let us go ahead and let us Docker images. I'll remove the third one also. The other two, let me remove all of them. I mean, there is no point in keeping anything, right? We can just go ahead and we can remove all of them. Triple C. Empty. Docker PS all is empty. There is nothing, right? Nothing is running on this machine. So this is a Docker machine. Let us quickly create another machine and let us put the, let's say, Jenkins over there to do a CD part. Okay.
If we didn't mention the username, but it's loud. We didn't mention username.
Where?
This is after the IP address, there will be sometimes just stay username.
You may or you may not. If you don't, it is asking us over here, no? Just when I tried to log in, it asked me over here, correct? Okay. So now, okay, see this. Okay. So now, what we can do over here, see, we can go for installation of Jenkins. Now I need to find out once again the Jenkins installations.
Before this, Java has to install now.
Yeah, you should actually. But anyway, this will also work. Typically, you should. Fine. Acha, I will require to install the gate code also. So let me install that.
Just give
Just a second. See this. We install the Maven integration plugin. This is one. Another one I want to install is publish over SSH plugin. These two plugins I want to install. Okay. Still without restriction. Did I show you publish over SSH earlier? No, right?
No.
Okay. Now see. This is the thing that is added when you install publish over SSH. Okay. So what we want to do is that we want to log into the other machine, the Docker machine. We want to get a SSH connectivity between Jenkins and the Docker machine. Okay. To do that, first of all, let me come to this here and let me allow the password based authentication for EC2 user. So let me add a password for this. I'm writing the password as E, just a small E. Okay. Okay. I just wrote it and I need to switch on the authentication for password protected, password based authentication. So I need to go to where? Sudo vi etc ssh d underscore config, right? Yes. Fine. So I just switched on the password based authentication so that I can now log into this machine with password. I could have done with key also, but anyway, I just thought I'll do with password. So you can see we have to add SSH servers over here. Click add, asking for the server name, right? So you can just go ahead and call it anything. Let's say Docker server. Okay. Asking for the host name. Host name basically means your IP address. Get the Achha, let me connect. There is no problem in connecting public or private anything, but let me connect it private because they're in the same network. And also in case, let's say you want to use this later, you can shut down and start it once again. So public IP will change, but the public IP, private IP will stay the same. So it is always a good idea to go with private IP. Okay. Username is EC2 user. Achha. Let me go to advanced. Let me put the password authentication. And you can see it's asking for the password. Let me write E. Now, if the thing is correct, this test configuration should give me a success. It gave. That means it is able to log in with the password E. Just look at it. If I write a different password, let's say EF, and I press test configuration, it will fail. See, right? Fail to connect. So this is the every information has to be correct, then only it will connect. And successful connection, right? Click on save. So this is something that is very important, that we save our SSH information over there. Are we all clear on this part?
Yes.
Karthik?
Decision.
Okay, fine. So now see this thing. If I create a new job, let me call this thing, for example, uh, CI CD test. Okay, I'm creating a Maven project. Let's say over here. Okay, the first thing I want to do is that I want to go to what do you call it, GitHub, and I want to do something about it. So let me go to GitHub. Okay. sign in on GitHub. Okay. It sent an email to me. Okay, hang on a second. Let me see what email it has sent. So let us say that we want to open up this particular project. We want to do a CI, okay, over here. So let us take this project over here and let us do a CI/CD on this. Okay, I'm going to Git, pasting it over here. .git, click outside. Fine. This is a Git. See, this time this error is gone. I told you, remember, if it is not going, save and go outside, come back. This time it worked. Okay. I want to add a policy of, let's say, every second. Sorry, every minute. Okay. 5 minutes. And after that, Jenkins need to know what. Yeah, of course. I did not talk about the Maven installation. Let me go and let me do it first. Where Maven is installed, right? It doesn't know. So let's go to global tool configuration. Actually, mention this. Install automatically. Let me call this thing my Maven. Okay. So for the Java part, okay, let us try to do something else today. Let us do something else. So I require to tell it that what is the Java home, where is my Java installed basically, right? So I need to go to this particular machine of mine and it to expose Java. So if I try to find out Java over here now, if I say just which Java, so it does not find any Java over here because the Java reference is not added to the path variable, right? So what we can do over here is that, but we know that Java is installed, right? So where is Java installed? Let's find it out. So okay, typical installation folder will be, if I come to root, it will be in either in etc or in bin or in opt. Any, no, it will not be in opt. Let me check it out. No, there's nothing like Java over here. Okay, so let's come back.
Let's do echo dollar Java underscore home.
Echo dollar
Java underscore home.
Java home is not set up, man.
Okay.
Java home is not set up. Nothing will come up. Okay. It is not about that. Hang on a second. Okay. I had gone to boot. Okay. So let me find it out. Wait a second. Let me find it out. User has been alternatives. Wait a second. Hang on a second. The thing is that when I'm installing Java, where does it go? Right. That is the first thing. When it should be there. I mean, when otherwise user is there, right? CD. Let me go to user and let me check it out. So here I've got local temp local. Okay, not here also. Let me find out what is the default Java installation. Okay, they're saying is user Java. Okay, do we have something called user Java over here? When we came to user, we did not find any Java over here, right? It's not there. Even though these guys are telling it should be there, but we are not finding it.
Can you check in bin, user bin,
Huh?
user bin,
Sorry?
user bin?
User bin. Maybe. Let us see. Okay. So let me just see because it is. This is all we have about J. Okay. There isn't any Java over here.
Okay, we can do one more thing. Just type this command, where is space Java.
What shall I understand with this? Okay. These guys are telling user lib JVM. Okay. It is usually written user lib JVM. Okay. Let us find it out in user lib. Okay. And we can see, do we have a JVM over here? I cannot find anything. No, right? Nothing is there. Where is it installing, man? Look here. It is under OPT. These guys are telling. Okay. This has got a lot of upvotes. Let us check in OPT. No, not in OPT also. Okay, so none of these answers tend to work. I can simply go ahead and do a new installation of Java in our Jenkins, but I just wanted to expose this and connect it over there. That is why I did it. Try this if as a Java command works, right? So let us try to do this. This is working, right? No, it is only working in EC2 user, I think. Then it is only working in my EC2 user folder. Let me check it. Here also it is not working.
It's
Hey,
not installed, I think. Huh?
wait a second. I'm searching it on a wrong machine. Oh my god. This is this one, right? Here, this is where Java is. User bin Java, right? So if I do, sorry, my bad. I was searching on a wrong path. Java home, right? But you can see there is nothing coming up. So we need to set up this Java home variable, and also if I show you the path variable, right? Echo dollar path, you can see that this user bin is actually taken in this path. So in the path variable, user bin is taken. So whatever is there, that will be automatically taken over there. Let me do one thing. Let me just go to the, now let me create a, let me just add this particular text in the Java home variable, right? So how do you do so? How do we add something in Java home? Anybody knows shell scripting over here? No? Yes, no?
No issue.
Okay. So now, if I do this, you can see that it is actually coming up, right? Echo Java home. So let us quickly go ahead and let us quickly add this line to our path, right? So now this path variable that we have already over here with ourselves. Now, if I want to add a new thing over path, right? So, in the path variable, if I want to, so I have to do it in the same way. I have to just put a this colon sign, because you can see they are separated by colons. I need to add our this particular path over here, nothing else. Or else, even better, you can just take this and try to put on your Jenkins and see if it is calling it, because we have set up our Java home, right? So let us quickly go back to our Jenkins. Where is that? Here. And just put this thing, right? User bin Java. That was the path, right? Not wrong. User bin Java. We call this thing. Okay, see. Fine. My Java. Let us see if this is working. If not, we'll install automatically. Save it. Okay. We come back to my home of Jenkins. Okay, let me come to the home of my Jenkins. And let me, oh, this guy already tried to do some build because it is running on a polling, right? It tried to do some build because it is running on a polling. And it found out that nothing is working. It just did one build anyway so far. So let us quickly go ahead and let us add our POM goal. I want to have a clean install package. No such file called pom.xml. Oh my god. Hello world.get does not have one. Of course it has one. What does it mean by it doesn't have one? Okay, fine. This problem will be gone once we kind of do the thing and come out. Let's save and come out. I guess the problem will be gone. Come to configure. Okay, the problem is gone. So now in the post build actions, you have to do the thing. But anyway, first let me check whether it is able to do the build or not. Right, so let me go for a build now. Let me check. Now the build is failing. Okay, why the build is failing? It says cannot run Java bin Java. Okay, fine. So it is trying to run this one. /user /bin Java, again bin Java. Why is it trying to do like that? Okay. Let me check it out once. User bin Java, what do I have within that? Okay, it is not directory. So this is the, I just need to write down /user in that case because it is appending the bin Java by itself. So let me come back. Let me go to just /user and leave it. If it is adding by itself, then there is no point in adding by us also. So I'll come to manage Jenkins, come to global tool configuration. I'll come here. I'll just mention /user and leave it. Automatically it is putting it. Okay. So now let us come back to our home. Let us go for a build for this one. Let us see what it is doing, whether it passes or fails. Here it is version 4 that it is doing right now. Let us see the console output. And here it is working, right? It is putting the Maven. So we just needed to mention /user because bin and Java it is putting by itself. You can see it is running the tests and every single thing. Nice. There is a success message over here, right? So that means our CI is working, or let's say at least the building is working. Building is working means our CI will also work. If I come back to project, you will find out in the workspace. Okay, now understand. In the workspace, we have a folder called web app. Under the web app, we have got a folder called target. Under the target, we have got a file called webapp.war. Okay, web app target webapp.war. This is the file. This is our war file which we need to deploy on our Tomcat server. Okay, remember. Okay, let us go ahead. Let us come back to dashboard. Let us configure. Let us work on this particular one. Okay, see this post build actions. You have an option that says send build artifacts over SSH. Click on this. I want to send certain files to my Docker server. Make sure you pay close attention to this section, what we are doing over here. I want to send some files to my Docker server. Either I have to send some file or I have to execute some command. I can do both, but I cannot do none. I have to do at least one of them. So let's say I want to take the, what was that, web app / target / web app .war. This file I want to send. I want to remove prefix, means what? I want to just take this file and not these folders. So I'll remove the prefix web app / target. This part I want to remove. Okay, so I'll just send the web app. That means when I'm copying this, it will just copy this part, not copy the entire one. Okay, this is the first thing. I want to, so the first thing I want to get this web app.org copied into my Docker server. I also want another file to be copied over there. Which one? My Docker file. Now let us find out where the Docker file is. Let me delete this. This one. I don't need it as of now. So right now we are just saying that this has to be copied to my Docker server, right? Let me save it. Let me come out. Let me go to workspace and let me figure out that where is my Docker file. The Docker file is just on the workspace itself. So directly I can write Docker file. Okay. Configure. So these two files I want to get copied over there. That is the first thing. Docker file. Both the files are copied. Now that these files are copied, I want to run certain commands. Which commands do I want to run? Okay, let us see which commands I want to run. Achha, when I have, okay, what commands you can run, see, understand this. After we have copied the Docker file, what do we need to do? We need to go for a Docker build, right? Isn't it? This is the command docker build dot, that will build the Docker file. Fine. Along with that, we can mention some image name. If you remember, docker build -t, and we can put some image name, correct? So I was going to call this thing, let's say, my deployment image. I'll put some underscores. My dep img version 1.0 space dot. So build an image with the name my deployment image version 1.0. This is what I'm telling. After building the image, what I want to do, I want to run the container, right? So docker run, and I want to call that, let's say, it my dep image 1.0, and I want to run that in the -d mode. Okay, so that it runs in the background. Are we all clear so far? Everyone is?
Yeah.
In the comments, na? Yesterday we did all these comments, right? Now see, very carefully understand what I'm telling. Before I can run this particular image, let me do some more things. So I want to do a port mapping of, let's say, port number 80 to 8080, so that I can simply use it. I do not need to write down :8080 every time, right? Doing a port mapping of 80 to 8080. Also, I'm giving a name to the container as my dep service. Okay. Now, if I am doing so, it will only allow me to create a container with the name my deployment service only if there is no such container present with the name my deployment service from earlier, right? That means before running this, I have to delete docker rm. I need to remove the container, right? Docker rm my dep service. If I want to remove the container, I have to stop it first, correct? If I have to remove a container, I have to stop it first. So docker stop my dep service, right? So I have stopped this one, I have removed this one. Then now understand this one. When I'm building an image, now before that I should delete the existing image, otherwise it will not build it. If the image is already there, it will not build. It will just check it is there, it will not build, right? So I'll do a docker rmi, right? My dep image 1.0, I have to do this rmi. Now if I'm removing the image, then definitely I cannot have my container running, because the container first has to be stopped and removed. Then only you can remove your image. Correct? That is the relationship. That means this stop and remove will come before everything. First, you have to stop the container, then remove the container, remove the image, rebuild the image, run the container back once again. Right? If I had not done all these things, only once it will run. Second time or not, it will start failing. Now it will come every time. But now, see once again, when I'm asked to stop, it does not have the container. The very first time the container is not there only, right? So the stop will throw me error. I have to force it. The remove also will throw me error because there is nothing like that. I have to force it. RMI will also give me error. I have to force it, right? Because if I do not force, that error will stop me. It will not continue forward. Fine. Are we all clear so far what we have done? Yeah, guys. Hello.
Yeah, clear.
Avishar.
Right. So let us try to. I can do one thing. I can actually. I can run these three commands. I can merge it with any of them here also. I mean, it doesn't really make any difference. I could have kept it there also, here also, anything is fine. So now copying the Word file, then only I can run these operations. These operations do not depend on the Docker file, right? Because this operation depend on the Docker file. This build, for this build, the Docker file has to be copied first, right? So when you do these things, it happens in parallel. So it is not that if I run this command somewhere, it will not work, because when in the Docker file copying job, I cannot do the command running job over here using the Docker file. Here I wrote it together because they do not depend on each other, right? Fine, let us save it and let us hope for the best. Let's come back. So it will definitely do a build very quickly. What is the time? It is 58:35. Okay, so it will do a build very quickly, but before that, let me show you that right now. If I come back over here, let me clear. Let me go to my home. Clear ls. There is, these are our files, right? Docker compose Apache. I'll just delete everything. Okay, I'll rm start. I'll delete everything. Chalo. Nothing is there. Empty. Clear. If I refresh this one also, you'll see it is empty. Absolutely nothing. Let this build get triggered once. Check the polling log. Oh, 5909, right? Okay, there is no changes in the GitHub. It will not do the build, right? So let us go and let us do some change in the GitHub so that it does the build. Just come back over here. Let us open up the Maven project. Let's edit it, the README file. Let us do that. It is a CI/CD test. With morning 8 batch. Okay, let me commit this. So now there is a change, right? Jenkins should trigger a build. Let us check the polling log once again. It is 3 minutes to go. 3 minutes to go. Watch what happens. It started to do this one, right? Over here. If I open up the console output, look at this. It is doing all the basic things. It will keep on doing everything right now, right? Doing the testing and everything. Okay. See, from Tomcat 8 JRE 8, it is pulling the Tomcat 8 version 8. Okay. As you see here, it ran the Docker RMF, it ran the Docker RMIF, right? Okay, no such container. This is the error messages, but it kept on going because I am forcing it. It transferred one file, means which one? My webapp.org file, right? So see, it first executed the command, and that is why I told that together you cannot write it if they're dependent, right? Again, it transferred another file. This was which one? This was the Docker file, right? And then it is running the Docker build command, right? It run the Docker build command. In the Docker file, we have the Tomcat file. Tomcat is being pulled because Java based application. It is pulling Tomcat, downloading everything, pull complete. It downloaded newer image, right? Then it copied the webapp.org to the Tomcat web apps folder, right? Just like we did manually. It copied it over there, and it said it successfully built this particular image. At the end, there was no file transfer, only the comments were there, right? In the last one, there is no file transfer. There is a successful finishing. If this has happened, this is CI/CD. Now come back over here, do an ls. We have the Docker file over here, got copied, right? And the web, did we copy it manually? No. Through Jenkins on SSH, it got copied and it got deployed also. If you want to see that, just come back to your browser, take this. Now you remember that we did a port mapping of 80 to 8080, right? Let us take this. Acha, anyway, another thing, just before I show you that, just go for the Docker images, you will find out something nice. Sorry, not Docker images, Docker PS. Okay, see that. It is mapped from 80 to 8080, isn't it? Correct? So this is your my dep image running with the name my dep service, okay, which is doing a port mapping of 80 to 8080. So you do not need your user to write down 8080 because in production nobody writes 8080, correct? So let us copy this IP address. Let us go and hit it. Okay. What is the name? Web app, right? Press enter. I wrote this at some point of time when I was teaching some 11 o'clock people at weekend. You can see the page is coming up, right? Getting the point? Guys, everyone.
Yeah.
Yes, Vishal.
Pakkana, you will be able to do it by yourself now? Yes? Who has the confidence?
I'll do it after this class.
That's wonderful. What about others?
Once I go back to video, afterwards I can do it.
Fine. So the coming weekend, you shall take the challenge. Yeah, you'll do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Others, Bhagavan, Junaid.
Yes, we will do it.
Right. Mallika, clear? Okay. Moina, Naveen.
Yes, we shall.
Yes, Vishal.
Moina, yesterday you were in the meeting. I think at the end I was checking that now I have opened the participant list. At the end I didn't find you in the meeting yesterday.
Yeah, like last half an hour I had went. I had to go to office early, that's why.
Okay, fine. So fine, cool. So this was clear to you, na? I mean, because you missed that particular part.
Yeah. I'll watch everything again and then do it. I'll be able to do it.
Right. Fine. Okay. All right. So just because I want to change this paragraph also just once. I will come back to this one. I'll not change the README. I'll change this file that is getting changed. So that will be present inside. If I'm not wrong, that should be in the source index.jsp. This is the file that is showing all those text, right? So I'll just edit it and I'll make it like 8 a.m. right? And I'll save this change, right? So 8 a.m. change, right? Save the changes. Okay. Now see, what I mean to say is that you do not need to even look at your Jenkins, right? Just come over here, right? And keep on refreshing. Once it is deployed, you will find out it is deployed. It is just that cool, right? Just wait for some time. So they're saying that we are doing a deployment, wait for some time. So this is what is happening, right? Wait for some time. You made the changes, wait for 1 minute, at most 1 minute, right? Maximum, because every minute it is changing. And I'll keep on refreshing. I'm keeping on refreshing. At some point, we'll find out once the deployment is over, you'll find out it has become 8 a.m. It is stuck and it is 8 a.m. Right? You can see this is what continuous deployment is. The developer does a change and it is automatically deployed. There is no, there is nothing to worry about. Now you just you close all the windows. You just now let's say in the GitHub also you can push from a local Git. On a local Git we make a change. We push it to GitHub, right? So when this Saturday Sunday when you do the practice, do like that. In a local Git you do the change because I have shown in the entire stuff. Just from a local Git push some changes. Okay, that should hit the GitHub repository, and that will in turn fire the Jenkins trigger, and from there it will fire the publish over SSH, which will ultimately take and put it over there, right? And also you understood it is very easy to do the Java part. Just write down /user and leave it. It will take it automatically, right? So no need to give your username, password of the Oracle account and all those things. Fine. Okay. So as promised yesterday, I will give you a lecture on Selenium right now. It will just take me 15 minutes. Right. So I'll just kill off the machines. Okay. Let me talk about Selenium a little bit because that is something that you need to know. It's a little important. So see, what happens in Selenium is basically a testing tool. Okay. So Selenium is written completely in Java. Okay. I'll show you how Selenium looks like. Hang on a second. Any Java programmer over here? Anybody who knows Java? No? Okay. I'll show you the effect of Selenium. See this. Okay. So let us say if I open up this one. Wait a second. You can see this is also written through Maven dependencies. You can see over here, right? Is my screen coming to you? No? Yes?
Yes, yes.
Yes, yes.
This is you can see Maven dependencies. This is running on Maven project, but instead of putting on source main Java, we are putting in source test Java, right? So if you see this here, this one was source main, right? Source main. They are calling it web app. Source main. So if I can't take you over here, right? Come back. Source main, right? Now they are calling it web app. I call it Java, whatever. So now here it is under source test because this is a test code. Okay, written over there. Why is this guy dancing? Okay. Now here, this is completely a test code. Now it will be extremely difficult for me to explain the test code. I probably will not be able to do it, but let me show you the effect of this. So for that, let me go to the scripts and let me check out what is happening. Do I have a, yeah, there is a pom.xml here also, and I have an asynchronous testng.xml. Let me open it up and let me just figure it out what is going on. It is running the sample registration form test and etc like that. Okay, fine, great. So let me show you by doing a deployment on cloud on basically on an EC2 instance, and ultimately doing a test using this particular thing. Okay, let me do that. Okay, it will work. Okay. Fine. Wait a second. Now, this is a complete deployment and testing I'm going to show you. Okay. So let me open up this application first. Another Java, thing where I have to take out the war file from and then push it on. I need to deploy it on a Tomcat server, basically, ultimately on a container or wherever I need to ultimately deploy it. That is the idea. So let me quickly come up over to this one sample registration form. Let me quickly get a version out of it. So I'll go to, you can see I want to find out the war file. Okay, so I'll go to Maven. Sorry, no, I'll go to run and I'll run a new Maven build. I will let's say I'll call it Maven build will give me it. I need to go to Maven package, right? So let me write a new build. So I'm going to write a goal over here. See, the way we write goals over there, right? Here we write goal over here. So I'm going to run a goal, write a goal. I'm going to call that thing. Let's say Maven clean install package. That's exactly what we run over there. I'm running this so that it should give me a clean install package. It is doing, see, all the Maven jobs, right, that you see over there, isn't it? Oh, there is some error in this particular code, it is telling, right? Okay, it has got some errors, build failure. Okay, now that is a very bad thing. Why is the build failing? Okay, fine. Let me try to kind of run this code directly over here. So I'll just close everything that is over there. Okay, let me see what is going wrong. Just a second, man. Just a second. I tried to create a war file under the target folder and copying zero resources, compilation error. Java X servlet does not exist. Okay, cannot find symbol, blah blah blah. Lot of problems it ended up with. Okay, fine. Let me try to solve it. So the problems it ended up with. Java version I want to use 1.8. Apply, rebuild. Yes, go for it. And face it. I want to use Java version 1.8. Apply, and the build path. I want to use Java version 1.8 only is being used over here, so I am particularly good to go about this. Apply and close, rebuild. Let's try to do a Maven, sorry, run as Maven builds. I can find it out over here. It's filling. Okay, I'm missing some imports in pom.xml. JUnit1, okay. Hang on a second. MVN repository. Okay, I need to search the, okay, and you can go over here. No, you don't understand what I'm doing, that is fine. This is not your part of work, okay? I'm just trying to somehow get this thing built. Let me see if I can do it. And there's a build success, right? So there is this dependency missing. It was looking for servlet dependency. So it has saved as sample registration form.org. Can you see it over here? Let me go to this path. Let me copy this particular file from there. And this one I want to, let's say, deploy on a Docker, right? This war file, fine. So what I shall do, I shall come to my mobile term. So I'll upload this file over here. Okay. Let me delete the Jenkins, by the way. I don't want that CI/CD anymore, but I'll show you the Selenium part. Where is that? Let me kill the Jenkins server. That is this one. Okay, so let me come back. Now this machine is gone. So now if you do an ls over here, you will find out there are a lot of things. Now I want to first kill all the things that is going on as of now. So Docker, let's say I want to do an remove force of my deb svc. Okay, I want to do a Docker remove RMI of my dep img colon 1.0, right? So if I do a Docker images right now, there is just the Tomcat image over here. Okay, fine. So what I want to do is that I want to now deploy the sample registration form.war within the, so I will change the Docker file. Okay, I'm changing the Docker file. Let's say vi Docker file. Okay, I'm changing it. I'm going to copy the sample. Oh, capital S, sample registration form.org. Let's say this is the file, okay, that I want to copy to the web apps. So if this is working fine, then it should actually, so let me go for a Docker build, okay, with let's say name of, or sorry, dash T of, let's say, my image, or let's say registration form reg 1.0, that is the image name basically I want to build, and go to build it. So once I get it, right, it built it, it told. So now that I'm going to actually go for Docker run with the name of, let's say, reg, and port mapping of let's say 80 to 8080, and then I'm going to do a okay, dash it reg 1.0, right? So this should be good to go. Let us see what happens. I forgot to give the dash D, is it? I think so. Yeah. So it started running on the foreground itself. Dash D. Okay, fine. The container already exists. Fine. Docker rm f reg, right? Then we can run it. Fine. So you're running it in the backend. Are you clear so far? Right. I just built from the Docker file the same thing that I am doing so far. So now if I come to my let's say here, and I take this particular machine, I try to hit on like this, and on sample registration, what was the name? File. No. Sample registration form, not file. Form. FORM. Right. And there is a registration form that is opening up in front of you. So this is my URL, right? Sample registration form. So now this thing I want to test using this Selenium test case. So this IP address will change over here because now it is not on local host anymore. It is on the there. So let me go and where is that? Register now. This IP address will come, right? Copy this IP address, paste it over there. Oh, it got copied twice. All right, fine. Now, if I just go ahead and run this test, right? So now it is a Maven test, right? So we should run what? Maven test. Come here and run a Maven test. Clear? Now look at this. Is it doing anything? Yeah, it is doing something. Scanning for projects. Now just wait and watch what happens. It's trying to do the test. See, it is opening up Google Chrome automatically. This is what testing does. It is trying to go to that particular thing. See, it is filling up some data automatically, right? A lot of data there. It is filling them up, right? This is what automated testing is. So this kind of a thing will happen once you have made and see, and then it failed, it is passed. It ran 2 tests. Exactly this kind of a message you are seeing in Jenkins, you remember, right? This is what a Selenium test is. So after the deployment, what it did, it opened up, it tested, right? Karthik, you there? Did you see it?
Yeah, Vishal.
Yeah, right. So that requires a lot of Java coding in order to do these things. But anyway, you do not need to know Java. Once again, I'm telling, DevOps has no requirement of learning Java. But the only thing is that you need to know how the thing works out. So this is what Selenium is, right? So now the deployment that I did just now by hand, we could have just did it from GitHub also. Possible, right? Because entire thing can be copied over and then just put on the server and run it over there. And then we, after our Maven job, we could have added, now last some 2-3 days ago I showed you how to add a downstream job. We can add a downstream job, right? And what we can do, that also will be a Maven project only. There we shall be pulling it from where? Just a second. 2 minutes. So now what I did, we can create another job just below this, right? We can add as a Maven job only, the below and downstream project. People, you're understanding, right? Everybody? Yes? Guys?
Yes.
We can add below a new job as a downstream job of the first one. So if the first one is build success, we can come to the second one. In the second one, what we have to run? Maven test. We can pull it from GitHub because this code will also be on another GitHub repository where the tester has uploaded, right? We can pull that code from there, and what we can do, we can run a Maven test because that is the command that is for testing. You can see it is under source test Java. We can run Maven test, and as soon as we do Maven test, it will immediately start doing the things and finish it. In fact, if you want to see, actually, I'll show you. Let me look into the code. It has taken a screenshot also that is stored in my D drive in my local laptop. So in case you are doing it from Jenkins, it will store in varlib Jenkins in that workspace somewhere, right? Since I'm running the test from local, it is taken. So it has taken a screenshot. See, take a screenshot. It has stored in D screenshots folder. Let me try to check it out. D SCR SHOTS. Do I have a folder like that? Oh no, it opened a browser. Oh my god. Okay, let me open up just D drive. Go to see. It has taken some screen. It has generated a report also, right? So all the entry that it did, it took a screenshot of all the entries. If you see, right? It has done a see some data that it has entered. So it is a that is how the tests work. It will take a report. So it has generated a report over here. You can see, right? So this report you can find out like what went right, what went wrong. Look at this. Okay, form fill up and submit. Right at 9:50. 9:50 only we did, right? 3 minutes ago. Okay, what all tests it did, what else, this kind of a report will come up. But anyways, this is not nothing that you need to worry about. You just need to know that what you need to do. And I did not show you on Jenkins because it is just Maven test where you write Maven clean, what clean install package, clean install package we write. Other than that, we shall be writing clean test. That's it, finished. So in the downstream job, take it from there and write down clean test. Your job will be done. And you need to add the Selenium what dependency, not dependency, what do you call it, plugin, right? This is the one, Selenium plugin, right? It is called Selenium plugin only. Just search Selenium, you'll find it outside. If my machine was running, I would have just shown you. Go to the plugin, just search for Selenium, you'll find out Selenium plugin. Just add the plugin and leave it. Guys, clear? Everybody? Yes? Yes? No? Anything?
Yeah.
Vishal,
Yeah.
Yeah.
to perform DevOps, okay, do we need to learn shell script or Python?
Good if you learn. We are not going to use it, but in case you learn, that is like if that helps you, go ahead and learn it. Sometimes it is helpful. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, let's say for example, you're doing a lot of things by hand. You write a shell script. The thing that I wrote on Jenkins, right? The thing that I wrote on Jenkins, shell script means what you know. Shell script simply means what you write on Linux, writing them one by one, one below the other, to make sure that they are followed step by step. When we sent the things from SSH, that was basically nothing but a shell script, right? I mean, not a full-fledged shell script, but yeah, kind of. That was a shell script. That build command, then this will run, then this will run, then this will run. Like that, we decided and we wrote it, right?
And whatever you written in that Docker's file and Docker's tool, all are Docker's commands.
Which one?
You created Docker file 1 and Docker file 2, right?
Docker file 1 and Docker file 2. What is that? Docker file, that Apache, that one.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Tell me. Those are Docker file commands, yes.
So those are the commands, no? Docker file commands, right?
Docker file commands, yes. That are to be written within the Docker file. That are not shell script. That is something that you need to write within the Docker file.
Okay.
Yeah. Others, what is the state? You people are okay? You are understanding?
Vishal, this Eclipse, we can't practice it, no?
No.
Other than that,
You don't need to. You don't need to. In the last 15 minutes, what I showed you, do not need to do it. Eclipse is nothing to practice. Eclipse is a tool for writing Java code. I have got 3 different tools for writing Java code in this laptop. So,
and that day you showed the GitHub push and pull and commit. We can do it through Eclipse. The same Eclipse or a different
There is a developer. The developer might not actually install local Git, because when they're installing Eclipse, automatically a Git component is installed, and that allows you to directly do push and pull. So they might not exactly write the Linux codes that we wrote for doing Git, like Git push, Git pull, etc. That will be automated through the tool itself.
You mean one single Eclipse software will have a testing as well as a Git
No.
commitment?
Eclipse software is not doing anything. Eclipse is just giving you a platform to write your code, and also it got a Git component so that it allows you to do a Git integration from the tool itself.
Okay.
There's nothing else. Just like we have, let's say, Git bash through which you can reach Git, or let's say if I personally am a developer and let's say I am developing an application that has got the capability to connect to Git. Let's say Jenkins. Jenkins also has the capability to connect to Git, right? Similarly, Eclipse also can connect to Git. But Eclipse is not a DevOps tool at all. Okay, it is just for development. Okay. I mean, you can write your Java code on Notepad, but on Notepad, if you write, you have to do everything manually. Na? You have to come to command line and write mvn clean install, then again copy, the thing. So why do you do it manually? Just use a tool. The tool can do it for you. It is just like that.
Okay.
Yeah. Others? Naveen? Okay, I'm just following the participant list over here.
Yes.
How are you feeling, Naveen?
Yeah, good.
You're feeling good. Okay, you have
ಯಾರು
started.
ಮತ್ತೆ ಮನೆಗೇನಾ?
See you anymore. Okay, Bhagwan Moena, what about you two?
Yeah, kind of. I understood, but then maybe once we practice, we'll get to.
Okay, once again, I'm repeating, do not worry about the last 15 minutes, the code part, okay? The code part is not for you. I just wanted to show you how Selenium works, because, that is something that I thought that will be good if you know that how it works. Doesn't mean that you need to know how to write the code. That's perfectly fine, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Fine then, that will be it. Stop.
Okay, sure.
Hello.
Yes, tell me.
Richard, I wanted to discuss something personally with you, so I will be in live.
Okay, stay in line, others can leave the meeting. Okay. I'm stopping the recording as well.